Dear boxing fans, I'm greeting you from the Boxing Tech channel. I'm Anwar Dallo, a boxing coach. I've more than 20 years of coaching experience. On my channel, I delve into the realm of boxing strategies, where I dive into the most important details of training techniques, tactics, and boxing mindset. And moving on to the boxing combos, reviewing the most common mistakes that some boxers and coaches make during the drills. Join me on this journey. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced boxer, you'll gain more knowledge with us.
Subscribe to my channel.
Boxing stance. Today we're talking about a boxing stance. It is one of the most important things a boxer should learn when they first start their boxing career. If a boxer learns this step correctly, the steps that follow will definitely go well. As for the stance, there are two styles. The first is called Orthodox, which is the usual one, where we see the boxer with his left foot and arm in front, while the right foot and arm are behind him. The second style is called Southpaw or left-handed, which is the opposite stance, where we see the boxer stepping forward with his right foot and arm in front, while the left foot and arm are behind. Also, don't forget that both feet should not be in a straight line. They should be slightly skewed inward like this. The body is also slightly skewed inward like this. For the start of the toes of the right foot, they should be evenly aligned with the heel of the left foot. I would like to add one more piece of information in this context regarding foot balance and stride. I would like to draw a boxer's attention to the fact that footwork in the four directions, front and back, right and left, is one of the most important building blocks of the boxing game, because it will be the beginning of the journey towards professional boxing. The more disciplined the footwork technique, the higher the level of the boxer will be. If a boxer's footwork is not correct, the punches will be weak. The offense and defense will be undisciplined and often unsuccessful. If we look at the footwork from the side view, we will see that the left foot comes forward with the toes. Sometimes we see some boxers doing this wrong, stepping forward with the heel of the foot. Of course, this hinders the boxer's movements, making it uncomfortable and slow to advance or retreat. However, when he makes a forward movement using the front of the toes, he has enough opportunity to make a decision to continue the attack or retreat. In this case, he has more power and speed. We return again to following the movement of the feet in relation to forward progression, emphasizing the important point that the first movement of the front foot moves in a transfer manner, while the next movement of the other foot that follows it moves in a dragging manner. The first movement is a transfer movement, and the next movement that follows it is a pull movement.
Punching distance geometry within boxing ring. Punching distance tactics is an important strategy that must be mastered by the boxers. It is very necessary for all boxers to have a good and sufficient experience in engineering distances with their opponents within the boxing ring. Punching distances are determined by three types of styles, and each one has its own scientific method. Firstly, punching from long distance. The best distance type is the long fighting style. Usually tall boxers use this style that relies on smooth footwork, directing punches with slipping techniques as a preliminary stage to launch an attack or defense, while working to get out of critical positions using various punching techniques, also working to detect the opponent's methods and what he intends to do, then counteracts that method, such as if the opponent intends to approach him, then he must move away, or if the opponent is trying to move away, then he must approach the opponent, and so on. But when facing an opponent who prefers to fight from short distances, then must be follow these tips. 1. Continuously and variably use the dodging hand as to throw punches to restrict and control the distance with the opponent. 2. Prevent the opponent from executing his attacks by keeping him at a safe distance. 3. Tempt the opponent to make an attack and respond with counter punches. 4. Follow the technique of dodging footwork throughout the rounds with precision and speed while maintaining balance. Secondly, punching from medium distance. This style is the critical distance because both boxes are in the range of each other's punches. So, boxes must master the defensive technique of the torso, such as to lean back, ducking, and blocking. And it is obvious that the most important punches that are used from this distance are the hooks and uppercuts. And the boxes must cover agility and speed of execution of punches, and in this situation, it is preferable to corner the opponent and use surprise techniques. Thirdly, punching from short distances. This style is called inside boxing. Usually, this style is suitable for short boxes in the face of tall boxes. This technique is used to counter short punches, such as hooks and uppercuts. There are 3 situations that must be followed in this confrontation. 1. Seizing an opportunity through counter-punching and entering through parrying, defense, or attack. 2. To maintain an inside boxing position and continue to throw short punches with keeping the head close to the opponent's chest. 3. Exit stage. After achieving the goal of punching, the boxer throws a left straight punch to the opponent's head accompanied by a backward step to get away from the opponent.
Boxing preparation stages. Hints for boxing coaches. Boxing trainers should seriously consider 5 important things. 1. Physical preparation. Developing the boxer ability of speed, flexibility, and power. Technical preparation. 2. Technique is the basis of movement that is executed with as little energy as possible. Attack, punches, stance, marked footwork. Tactical preparation. Tactics is the optimal form of leading the fight for each element of 1-2 the technique, finding a solution for each situation that boxers face in the ring, and is divided into situation analysis, fight plan passive defense without punching, positive defense with punching. 3. Psychological preparation. Psychological preparation for boxing involves mental conditioning to optimize focus, confidence, and resilience in the ring. 4. Theoretical preparation. Theoretical preparation for boxing involves understanding and applying strategic concepts, tactics, and techniques to effectively compete in the sport. Motivation, desire, assimilation. Motivation, desire, and assimilation in boxing refer to drive, passion, and ability to absorb knowledge and skills necessary for success in the sport. All elements must be interconnected. Avoid prolonging the time in the workout, as this exposes the boxer to fatigue. Instead, increase training sessions. Avoid teaching one training rule: attack, defense to all boxers.
Subscribe to my channel.
We go back again to follow the backward movement of the footwork. We remind you that the first movement of the foot moves in a transitional manner, while the other foot movement that follows is a dragging. One of the important points that a boxer should learn is that if the front foot moves forward 10 inches, it is natural for the back foot to follow at a distance of 10 inches. Now we proceed to the next step, which is the boxing stance. By using the right arm like this, we protect the ribs, liver, and jaw. You should keep the elbow slightly away from touching the ribs, while the left arm is more forward, which is approximately from a 90-degree angle. Typically, this arm is used at the beginning of an attack. I will create a separate video explaining punching and guarding techniques later. But now we're going to move on to the execution of the footwork with jumping and guarding. Just watch the video with me until the end. I encourage you to use a carousel or any wheel tire to practice footwork. Initially, we practice it just with the arms guarded. Later, you can perform the same skill with steps and punching as well. This time, we will work together using the tire to practice executing the turning technique. Let's imagine that this front foot is nailed, while the toes of the back foot are on a parallel line with the heel of the front foot. The front foot rotates in place, while the back foot rotates in a wider circle towards the right. If we want to move to the left, we rotate the front foot in place to the left, and then the back foot follows to the left as well. Some boxers make a big mistake. When they want to move to the left, they do this thing, and that's definitely not correct. Naturally, the boxer will lose his balance at any moment during the contest. Then, we execute this technique with the entire arm guard and later with punching. We can also execute it with a partner doing the same on the opposite side. This is an extremely effective and useful technique for developing close combat skills. We often advise a boxer to keep the heel of the back foot slightly off the ground. This height is very important in completing the forward thrust at the start of an attack. I'd like to draw your attention to another important thing. When the punch is launched, the heel of the foot should return to the ground. This is to allow the body weight to stabilize more and provide more power with the punch. Legs splayed out like this are uncomfortable. This, of course, is something we as coaches would never recommend. Note with me that the movements become heavy, and the boxer will certainly be more vulnerable to the opponent's punches. The best option is to keep the leg opening equal to shoulder width. And obviously, this provides the boxer with greater balance and the ability to lead the steps better. Also, putting the feet behind each other leads to a loss of balance. Now, let's move on to the next step, and consider this white line as the boundary with the opponent. Then we move to the opposite side, and also assume that the white line is the boundary of the opponent's front foot. We'll form the distance between me and the opponent, which is the punching distance. This is, of course, the distance of the fight. Again, let's try it together. I'll use the straight punch and see how far away I am from my opponent. And definitely, this time, I need to add a step forward with the punch towards the opponent, so that I can get a hit on the target. My opponent will be here at this spot. If I attempt to punch my opponent from this distance without stepping forward, I won't get a hit. But if I throw a punch with a step forward, the result will be positive. Not to mention, the opponent must defend by stepping back, blocking, or slipping. That's it for now, and I hope to see you in a new video. We will talk about punching and defense techniques in detail next time. I will also show you some exercises that will help you develop your punching power and speed, as well as how to coordinate them properly and scientifically. I would like to remind you to subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to share your questions and opinions. I was with you, the boxing coach, Anwar Dallo.